Hi, welcome again to my next session on Angular 4, and today we will see the demo of Angular 4 modules. We'll learn how to create Angular 4 modules using NgModule. Now before starting to create an NgModule, before seeing an example, so let us first understand quickly that what are Angular 4 modules. So all the Angular applications that are developed, so at least it has one default root module, as we have seen in the previous session. Earlier session, not immediate previous session, but in fact in the first session we already discussed about a little bit about it. So that module is nothing but, if you come over here to the file structure and open up this app module, if you have just created this file using Angular CLI, then you see that one app.module.ts is over there. So this is our root module. So everything is packaged inside root module by default. But it may happen that as our application grows bigger in size, then we need to consolidate all widget related things or a group of widgets into separate modules. And then these modules can be used in a different way, like we'll be discussing future modules. Then we can have shared modules as well, where some libraries and some components can be shared across different modules. Or we can have a common set of functionalities to achieve a single goal or a common business goal. So that can be packaged as an Angular module. So let us quickly see an example of one module. So if you have watched my previous video on HTTP GET service example, so you have seen, and before that also you making your custom directive, custom pipes, if you have gone through those videos, and if not already, and if you don't have any idea about what are directives and what are pipes, then I would suggest that first you visit those videos or any kind of tutorial on the net. There are lots of tutorial on directives and pipes on the net. So I would suggest first you go through that, then after that you revisit this tutorial. Okay, now coming back to our application. So what I have done is I have created a custom component folder. Okay, and there I am taking one country. So I'll do one thing, I'll take this the same example of hitting a service, fetching all the countries detail. There is a free service we already seen okay, in our one of our previous modules, in which I've discussed that HTTP GET service, that how we can hit a REST service and get the JSON data and pass the JSON data and show it on the UI. So I'm just revisiting that example and refactoring the code a little and displaying it in a table. So let me open this countries components. I have already done some coding over here so that it saves us some time. So here I have creating a separate component called countries component. Okay, this countries component will consist of one table, and this table I have already given the style. Border is 1, cell padding 5, cell spacing 0, border color gray color is the light gray color I am giving, and then I am taking a header and the body, T head and body part. So header I am giving country name, capital, currency, flag. Okay, and this will use a country service. So if you remember that we have taken one of the free web service that is available on the web. So let me first hit this service and show you the JSON, then it will be more clear. So I hit the service, I get this JSON. If you just copy this JSON just to check the structure and go to this site, jsonviewer.stack.hu, and paste that result JSON, what you get from that service, that REST API service, and come to the viewer part. So you can see the structure of the JSON. So let's see the 0th element of the JSON. All the elements 0, 1, 2 have the similar structure. So whatever result I am getting, the 0th, first, second, third part all will consist of the same key value name pair of and the objects. So here I can take .name, say first name is say Afghanistan, USA, UK, all the countries name will get in series in alphabetical order. And then I'm just displaying currency. So to display currency, I'll say result dot whatever is the result I get dot currencies dot 0 dot code. Then it will give me the currencies short form. And symbol also, if you want to display, I'm not displaying symbol, then I can also take the flag value, which is a URL to the flag image, right? So this is the thing which we had done. Now coming back to the code. So this is the already a ready-made service, countries HTTP service, which we have created in one of our previous session. So I'll be using this service. So I come to countries component and then I create a table with header, and then row I have creating. Then here I am using ng this is the directive which will repeat this countries in the countries variable. First what I am doing is I am using this countries service which I have created, this REST service, to hit the REST service. And here I have to, if you remember, we have to give any service in the providers array. Either you can do it in the component itself, or you can go to app module and do it over there, package it over there as in the providers array. Anywhere you can do it. So I am doing it over here in the countries component itself. So, and after that, if you remember, we have to inject it in the constructor, put this value in the constructor and it will get injected. So I am injecting it in this variable countries service, and then I am also importing onInit from Angular core. So it is a life cycle event for any component. More about it in later tutorial that I'll come up with. So here if I write ng onInit, then after all the initialization had taken place, this application has been initialized, then this will get executed. Then I am hitting this dot countries service dot get countries. So here there is a method called get countries. It will hit this. It is a get method. It will return you an observer. So if it is an observer, I can always use subscribe to that observer. We know we can subscribe to any observer if you already are aware of what an observer is. So subscribe and you get the response. I am using the arrow function. So whatever response I am getting, what I am doing is I am assigning that response to this countries variable which I have taken as a public variable over here, and I am taking this response in a JSON format. So response.json, and then after getting this countries object, I am just using *ng for in the row, table row, and then I am repeating let country of country. So country is a temporary variable for each item, each object for each country. So I am just extracting country.name, capital, currencies, 0.code to give me the currency value, and then inside one last column of the table I am taking an image. I am keeping width as 150 because the flag size, that image size is too huge. I don't want that huge a flag, and src is equal to country.flag. So that is it. Now to do this I have to import countries service. I also have to, then later on I'll see I'll be using this directive, custom directive also. At the moment I'm not using it, this directive, so let me not activate it. Let me keep it this way. Okay. Now I run this application to check if it runs fine, or if there is any error we'll resolve it. Okay, it seems there is some error. So I'll just open the developer console and let's check what is the error. It says template parsers countries component is not known element. Okay, countries component, see this countries component I'm not using directly, I'm using inside app component, and if I see go in the app component, you'll see that it calls the template app component.html. If I open this HTML, here is where I have kept the countries component. So what happens is this countries component is still not visible. So how to make it visible, we already have seen in the previous session. That go to app module, import the countries component over here, import say countries, let me give a space just as a good practice we need to follow. Countries component is the component which we have made a separate component from, say it is packaged inside custom component, right? Custom component slash countries component. So I have to import it and tell the module that I'm using this countries component, otherwise it will not be visible to app.component.html. Okay, because it is a separate component altogether. So all the components will come in the declarations array. Okay, so you see that in the app module there is one NgModule decorator. So in NgModule decorator we have to import this NgModule decorator that is already imported in the app dot module. So in NgModule decorator you'll see there are different metadata. One metadata is declarations, one is imports, one is providers, and last one is bootstrap, and there are others also, but these are the most significant ones. So in declarations all the directives, custom directives, components, custom components, pipes will come. Okay, in imports all the modules will come. If you want to include another module inside app module as a child module, all those module comes in the imports. In providers, we already know any kind of service will come. So that service which I have written over here, I can put it over here also if I don't want to put at component level. Okay. Anyway, let me tell you, provider actually comes in the global pool, which we'll discuss not now, in some other part of the video tutorial I'll come up with. And bootstrap, we already seen in the first day that at least one component needs to be bootstrap or loaded. So that is app component itself. So when I put the countries component over here, let's re-render it and see. Okay, it is rendering. Yeah, we get it. Okay, so all the styles, table color, header color is yellow. I have already put it over here. You can put any color of your choice. Please excuse me, my color concept is not that good. I'm not a visual designer. So if you are good at color themes and color concepts, you can put a better color over there. So if you come to countries component, you will see that I have already given a style over here, background color yellow. As a good practice, it is advisable that you put a separate style metadata and put the style over there and refer to that style so that it will be loosely coupled and that can be reused across the different tags if required in a real-time project. So this is it. So we get this flag and all the country list, the entire list we get. Okay. Now let us decorate it further. So say for example, now I want to apply a custom directive. Okay, we already have one custom directive developed, that is hover directive, if you remember. So we have prepared a custom hover directive. Okay, this was named my attribute directive in the previous session which you have done. I've named it as hover directive. So you can revisit that tutorial if you have forgotten, or if you remember it, then fine enough to go ahead. So hover directive. So here what I have done, I have just taken on mouse enter, it will be the custom color that I am assigning, and on mouse leave it will be the rollout color, default color I have given as white. So on rollout it will be white, and rollover I can give a color. So let us first import this hover directive over here. So I've already done so, I've just commented it out. So hover directive I'm taking. So after taking hover directive, so what is the selector for hover directive? Custom hover. So just take custom hover, come over here, and to each row of the table I want a hover effect, so the whole row is highlighted. So custom hover, say this, since this is an attribute selector, so I can just write it this way, and here I can assign a value, say pink, or whatever color of your choice you can give. Okay, this will take this as a pink as a variable, but this is a hard code string I want to give. So within double quote give a string, single quote. Okay, so custom hover color, whatever am I assigning, it will take it as a custom hover color. See, whatever I'm assigning, because custom hover itself is declared as an input metadata. So you can revisit this if you have forgotten this. Okay, so I'm not going into detail of this because our focus is on NgModules. So I come over here, let's see what is if there is any error. I think there is some kind of error. So what is the error? Since it isn't a known property. Okay, so this also has to, so you are observing one thing, that whatever new components, directives, pipes we are adding, it has to, pipe we haven't added yet, we'll add. So we are adding, always we have to, after implementing it over here in the component, we also have to revisit module, because you have to package it inside the module. You have to tell the module that you are using this. Okay, so I'll say import. So let me first write the path, then it will be easier. Okay, so I'll say custom directives, I'm using custom directives, then slash hover directive. Okay, so from here I can take the hover directive, and then this directive, as I mentioned, that all the directives, custom components and pipes will come in the declarations. So I put it over here. Now let's come back and check. Let it get recompiled, and I think I have not saved it yet, have I? Okay, I have saved it. So let us come back. Let me refresh it manually and check if there is any error. Okay, let it recompile. It's a bit slow. Okay, so it has come. Now let's hover the mouse and see. Okay, we have got a rollout, it is white color, and rollover, it is pink color. Okay, so we applied this effect. Now let us again come back, and finally let us apply a pipe. So just as an example, I have created a pipe inside the custom pipe folder, and though it is not practically useful, but just for the sake of demo purpose, I have named a country's char count. If I apply this pipe, that will give me the country name. I'll apply this pipe on country name. Whatever character I apply it will give me the character plus what is the count of the character. Okay, like say for example, if it is Afghanistan, whatever, say A is 1, F is 2, G is 3, 4, 5, say 11, 12 characters, whatever it is. Algeria, whatever number of character it is. American Samoa, whatever number of character it is, including the space. So it will display me that. So just for the purpose of the demo, I am using it, because there won't be any practical utility to count the character. We already have an inbuilt command to do so. So I have created a pipe which will just take the value whatever you are putting, and it will just with the value till append with a hyphen, it will just say value dot length, string dot length. That's it. So I come over here, I come back to the country's component, and say in the country name I'll put a pipe over there, and let me write the name of the directive. So what was the name of the directive? Sorry, not the directive, the pipe name is char count. So I have to give it the name as char count, and after that I have to mention this pipe over there in app module as well, otherwise it will not work. See, again the error is coming, that is not able to recognize the pipe char count. So same way I have to repeat that. I have to include this in the app module. So I just copy this, and then I'll paste it, and here I'll write. So instead of, okay, I think I have to it didn't give me much advantage to go copy paste because it is custom pipes. Yeah, so it is custom pipes folder, and then I have to take the country's char count dot pipes, and here I'll take whatever is the name of that class, that is char count pipe. So let me come to app module and paste it, and then this is pipes also will come in the declaration only. Now save it. Now let's run it. I think it should run fine now. Okay, so it rendered fine. Now you can see that pipe is applied, so it is giving me 11 characters. This country name here is 13 characters, 14, and so on. Okay, so we have applied custom directives for hover, custom pipe for the char count, service to get all the details of these countries. Okay, so all these things we have added, and the custom component itself, that is the country component, all inside app.component. Okay, so in a real-time project you start, so initially it is fine, but as the project size grows, you'll see that the whole app module becomes too heavy. So this becomes disadvantageous, everything we are putting in over here. So it is, and sometimes it may be that a user doesn't needs to load that. For a specific user, a specific component doesn't needs to be loaded, so on-demand loading may also be required. So even so, there are other advantage of creating a module also, a separate module, a custom module, because you can do lazy loading also. Lazy loading will be a different tutorial altogether. I'll come up with near future. So let's talk about featured module right now. So we can actually separate this entire chunk of functionalities, related functionality, into one single module. So that way it will help us keep our application very much modular, and also it will be easily scalable whenever required, and we don't have to load everything up front as well. Okay, that we can do, we can check when we are doing lazy loading. Okay, so we are talking only about featured module over here. So all the related features, similar features, we can separate in a different module. Okay, so let's do that. So now what we'll do is we'll just create, it's already I've created a custom module folder over here, somewhere over here I believe. Yeah, it's already done. So here let's do one thing, let's create a new module, right click, new file, and let us name it as countries.module.ts. You can give it any name, but it is always better to give some meaningful name. So for module, How do we know that a particular component that we are making is actually a module? So we use an NgModule decorator, then it becomes a module. So I will import NgModule from Angular. Okay, so core, it is a part of Angular core only. Okay, so I'll come over here and I'll say NgModule. Okay, this is the first thing we need to do, and then we have to create an ng decorator. NgModule decorator you have to create, just like we had in the app.module, exactly same way we have to declare things over here. And then after that you have to export this module as a class. You have to expose this, otherwise this cannot be included in other components or modules. In fact, modules, yeah, in the app module. So I name it as countries modules. Countries module. Give it any name, whatever suits you. Okay, so this is the countries module. I'm exporting it as countries module. Now you have to come to NgModule metadata, and we already know in app module, from app module, what are the metadata. Same metadata we have to take over here, at least the minimal that is required. So first metadata is declarations. It will have a value as an array, okay, comma, then another one will be imports. It will have the value as an array, and last one, let's not the last one, in fact let us take services. So services, providers, providers. So providers will have an array of services, so you can take it or you can omit it, depends where you want to put it. Okay, so let's start with this one first. So now we will slowly start moving from all the components away from app module. So till this app component, it was already present over here in the default module. After that we have added it, so let's start removing it. So let's take countries component first. So I just cut this countries component over here, paste it over here in countries module. Declaration, since it is a component, as I mentioned, that components will come in the declarations. So what we do is, let first import this. So I'll just cut all this from here. We'll remove it from there, because that is the whole purpose, that we shouldn't keep everything inside app.module, because it is difficult to manage. So we'll put it in countries module. So what I do is I just import it over here, and since it is inside a different folder, so you have to give the path, you have to correct the path. Okay, so whatever is the relative path, you have to mention it that way. Okay, now I come to app module and I take this, cut this and paste it over there. So now my app module is very light. It is in the way it was there in default mode, nothing added, nothing extra added, and I'll put everything in a separate module, countries module. So I'll just have all this hover directive and this char count pipe over here, instead of putting it in the app module. Okay, now let's run this and let's see whether it really works for us, because we still need to do some more things. So let's see what is the error. Okay, so we'll solve this error, and that will give us more clear understanding about how this works. So it says country component is not a known element. Now see the problem. Okay, first one more step we need to do anyway, because this countries module is not yet visible to app module. Okay, so first let us put it over there. So I'll just give a space so that it is distinguishable, that whatever extra we have put. So I'll say countries module, and I will import it from that path where we have. So custom module, I hope we have the path. Yeah, we have the path, and here we have to say countries module. Okay, So first I have to, because in app module you have to include this module, because main module, root module is the app module. So this module will be the child module of this. So copy this, and modules will go just like components, pipes and directives goes in declarations array. Module will go in the imports array. As you see that already we have browser module, NgModule, forms module. By default they are all inside imports array. So same way now we have to put our module over here. Now let's run it and see if still we need to do some further thing. Okay, yeah, we do need to do some more thing. There is error coming over, so this error is useful for us. It will help us to understand that what are the things that are missing and why is it required. Okay, it is re-rendering. It will just spit out some errors, I believe. It's too slow. Okay, so we have got this error. Now it is saying the pipe char count could not be found. Why? Let's see. And anything else it says. Okay, right now it is saying pipe cannot be found. Let's see if we have missed out the pipe over here. In countries module, I think we have given pipe. Char count pipe is given already. Okay, but still it is saying that this has been missed out. So let's see where is the mistake we have done. Okay, let me close this. Whatever is not required, let me close it. Over all the directives we are applying, only app.component, let us leave it open. Okay, so it is saying pipe char count is not available. Okay, but if you see, we have already included pipe char count. So let's see what could be the error. We already imported char count pipe and we have put it in the declarations as well, so it should work fine. So not sure why it is saying this cannot be found. Let's see, let's re-render once again to check if still it is saying this, giving the same message. Okay, that was not the issue. Actually it was not refreshed. So okay, that issue is not there. Now we have another issue. Okay, this is very important to understand this issue. Okay, let me close these browsers, close this service. Okay, if you see over here, it is say can't bind to ng4. Now it is not recognizing ng4. Okay, it may seem very strange to you that how come ng4 was working and right now it has stopped working. This is a very important point to remember, that why it is not working over here. Now see, when I was having everything in app module, the main root module, if you see that in app module we have imported something, a component called browser module, which is a part of platform browser. Now this module actually has got all the dependency, most of the dependencies required for the Angular app. One of them being called common module. There is one module called common module which is already imported by browser module itself. So it was no issue. When I imported browser module, then ng4, ngif, everything will work fine, because ngif, ng4 all are part of common module of Angular. So here when we are using this app, this root module, it was working fine because we already had browser module. Okay, but now when we are creating our own module, so everything is limited to, restricted to this module only, whatever this module can offer. So here we don't have that common module present. So this ng4 which we have used over here, ng4, this will not work. Okay, to make it work simple, we have to import that. So we come back to countries module and we import that module. Import that is common modules from why I always type the path first and then later on give the name, because it makes it easy for me to, it suggests, it gives auto suggest, and that way I can be sure of the spelling. But if you already have the expertise of remembering the spellings or the APIs, then go ahead and type it. Okay, so this is our part of Angular Angular/common, part of Angular common package. Okay, and then I come back here and then I will just take the common module. Okay, and since this is a module, this is yet another module, so where will I put it? I'll put it in the imports array. Okay, I'll put it in the imports array. Now let us come back and check whether we have resolved everything or still something is left. Okay, I have saved it. Okay, let's see what is the error message. If there is any error message, okay, it needs to be refreshed. And let me check it if I have saved it, because sometimes we forget to save it and doesn't get reflected. So let's see what is the next error it says till we resolve this and make it run fully. Okay, there is some other error. Okay, now it is saying countries component is not a known element. Okay, now again you'll find it very surprising that how come countries component is not a known element. See, if you come to app component.html, it doesn't know anything about countries component. But you may ask, a question may come in your mind that, okay, if in app module I already have this countries module. See, in app module we already have countries module, and countries module already has countries component. Then still why this app component.html is not able to read this? The reason is that whenever we are packaging anything inside a module, the components which we package remains private to that module. The component remains private to that module only. It is not visible to the parent module. Okay, so I repeat, the component which we use in our own module remains private to that module and is not visible to the parent module or the root module. Okay, so now to make that visible, if we want to declare, that is for the performance perspective, they have kept it so, the Angular team has kept it so. So to make it visible, okay, because sometimes it may be that some module, some component is only restricted to our own module. It is not required to be visible to other module. But at times there may be some component which we need to expose to outer module. Okay, so that way we can define that what are the modules we need to expose to outer module. So for that, if you we need to go to countries module. Okay, sorry, not countries module, just a sec. Yeah, sorry, in countries I am already in countries module only. Yeah, so countries module, there is one metadata called exports. So once you put that component's name inside exports, one copy of that it will be in declarations as well as it is in declarations, so that I have to declare, because I have to declare my component in declarations. That is the rule. And in exports I'll put only those components which I want to expose. So I want to expose countries component. If I don't want to expose any component, it will only come in declarations only, and if you want to expose it, it will come both in declarations and exports. So after I say exports, now I think it should be resolved. Let's see. Yeah, so now it is resolved. Okay, now all the features are running perfect, and we have successfully created one module, our own custom module. So we have made the application modular. So this means all the features related to countries and countries component are modularized into, packaged into one module. So this way I can always disconnect the module whenever required from app module for testing it in isolation or whatever purpose, or if we, and it can be easily scaled also. If more features we want to add to countries, so we can create it inside countries components and put it in modules, or whatever directive, more directives, more pipes I want to make, I can package it in a similar folder. I can even specify, have a more specific folder, say countries, and package it everything over there. That is the best practice to follow, rather than putting it in just in a generic custom directives folder. So just make a folder called countries and package it everything over there. So your countries widget is ready. Simply you have to call the countries module, import the countries module anywhere you want, and just use it. So that's all. So okay, now we are able to run it and view it. So thank you very much for watching my video, and I hope this was a great learning for you. And if you like my video, please do not forget to subscribe for more upcoming videos, not only in Angular, even in other technologies, front-end technology stacks, and even server-side technology stacks. And once more, thanks for watching, and bye-bye.